Touchdown. Are we live? We are live. Welcome to the Dream Show, I think, live from the PGF studios here in the fight capital of the world. That's what people will be saying. Inside of Egg's head.
We're in Egg's head?
I've been in his head for a long time.
Okay.
He's definitely afraid of everything from me here. I don't know. We're here. We're live. I haven't been able to do the show. We've been busy on the run, trying to squeeze it in. I got in late last night.
What time do you fly in?
I got here at 11:20 local time.
Okay.
So that's
like 2 a.m. your time?
Something like, 3 hour. I guess that's how the maths. Yeah, so that's late to be up early or whatever time it was. It's just weird. We're figuring it out, being on the road.
Living the road lifestyle, the jet setting, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're living the dream.
It is, no doubt, and it's exciting, but it's also weird sometimes, and this is, part of the challenges of doing some of that stuff, figuring it out, getting here on time with some stuff. But we're here. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep doing stuff from here.
So we're on week 3, right?
3.
So there's been a lot that's happened in 3 days of competition.
Yeah.
Right?
There's only been 2 days of competition.
Oh, I mean, you're correct.
This is the third.
We're on the third.
Look at me, Egg. You like that? You like
Numbers.
Your boy holding them accountable, right? Look at me. Fall down 8 times, stand up 7.
Well, so math. So what's been your favorite part so far with this new format where we're spread out over season? It used to be you came for like summer camp for a week.
Yeah.
What's it been like in your experience?
Favorite part, I guess in a sense is just to be able to have the time to not worry about my voice blowing out over the course of 4 or 5 days of trying to go hard and manage it. There's still a level of management over 30 matches that I got to do because I can just blow it out in the first match and then have nothing for the rest of the time. So that's been my favorite part is not having to buy tea and all this other stuff to have 4 or 5 things a day and
just trying to survive for a week.
People don't understand how tough that was for me a lot of the time. I would never have complained about it in a way because it just is what it is and it's minor compared to what the athletes were doing. But it was a grind for us too. It's a gauntlet for us too in lots of ways. And so this is just making it different. But the best part for me is that I don't have to stress about my voice.
Yeah. I mean, as much as the athletes have talked about having that time to be able to like relax and like decompress from each one, then they can go in and they can film study, all that stuff. It's all true for the production too. Like when we are able to get in the rep and see the mistakes and fix the different things, like that's a big deal.
Yeah, and it gives, again, a lot of time to see what could be better and adjust it. And I think the alternates having a chance to come in and out with some time is interesting. We've seen that shake up
that's been
the competition quite a bit.
That's this week. One of the big stories is that we've had some major change-ups on a couple teams, right?
Yeah.
The Twisters had 2 swap-outs.
That's for this week. And then going into last week, it was Team Dolomer who was down. But came up by adding Derek Rayfield and Spencer Ortiz to their roster. Both those guys got a win, I think a break each to put points on. And then the block points that those guys allowed you to win and then keep off the board from other players because I don't believe either of them got it submitted.
I don't believe so.
I think they drew the other matches they didn't win. So that's a bigger swing, you know? in the competition than what people may consider.
Yeah.
You know, these alternates came in and not only didn't lose, but they put points on the board for you.
Right.
This week, the Twisters from Alabama have pulled off some sort of coup. I don't know.
I don't know.
Conspiracy theories run amok. Maybe they you know.
Collusion, I don't know.
I've never.
Allegedly.
I would never accuse anybody. And this obviously never happened, like, on purpose. But the two guys who became available for this week are two really heavy hitters, guys that should have and could have been part of the season the whole time, but weren't available based on other competitions and life stuff that was going on. So Dom Mejia and Sergio Ardila.
He said Dilla, but I don't know if we're taking
Dilla.
Y'all are the name guys. I just make it come up on camera.
Dilla.
Okay.
Dilla. Ardilla. I know, but everybody keeps telling me different. So we had this conversation at lunch. Somebody was telling me
that you were
the
saying
opposite
it wrong.
way, and that's like, I'm just gonna ask them to tell me again, face to face, what he says, and I'm just gonna say what he says. That's the easiest job for me, guys. If you want me to say your name right, you just say it to me, and I'll make up what I think you just said. I'll do my best.
How do you feel like that you've grown as an announcer from season 3 to season 8?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Season 3, I didn't know nothing about nothing. Like, I don't even know that I ever really practiced that jokingly very much.
Yeah.
You know, like, I would do some stuff sometimes, but that wasn't ever a thing that I had thought about myself doing. I didn't really think I had the voice or the whatever kind of stuff for that. I was coming in to do the commentary or the play-by-play stuff or whatever. So coming in there with 0 reps, starting day 1, you know, I was just kind of screaming into these microphones. So from day 1, when I got it, I went back to the hotel and started looking up the microphone and understanding, like, because I'd never really even looked into.
Use the microphone.
Yeah, not correctly or not, like, professional, technically. Like, because different microphones have different ways that you should speak into them and different stuff. So
I saw you sit down right here and take your mic and, like, angle it, get it the right distance, like, all that stuff. Like,
it's a thing. Yeah, and doing that with in Decatur with 2 microphones, the loudspeaker just pointing right back at me, no audio control on the YouTube at that time. It was just raw dogging it.
Yeah, we just plugged the mics in and we were like, hey, these ports will go to these ports and we'll just run it straight in.
So going from 2 microphones and all that to adopting some sort of, like, idea of what I would do, what we should do, and the cadences. And then I started studying a bunch of guys that do this and women, people who do this and try to steal ideas, you know. I think, which is what all the greats kind of do.
I mean, that's what everything is, right? At some point, like, when you don't know anything. That's one of the fascinating things about jiu-jitsu that, like, we've talked about before, is the like, when you meet a black belt, a lot of times when you're talking about people that are, like, for real a black belt, they're black belts or purple belts or brown belts and other stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, they do other things and they've, like, self-taught themselves into that. And they, a lot of times, identified that through jiu-jitsu and then, like, started plugging that in for that. And, like, I say black belt, and there's a lot of stuff out there where, like, belts, this and that. In this tournament, we got guys that just got their purple belt, you know. I'm not really saying the belt as a thing, but more of just the idea of the pursuit of knowledge, and then there happens to be a ribbon that you get when you've spent a lot of time doing that. But then there's things out there that you don't get a ribbon in, but you can do the same pattern and you'll get the same benefit. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and I think the path is going to get shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
To black belt, whether that is good or bad, I'm not trying to make a philosophical debate.
Right.
But the black belt level of competition or whatever, because we're talking about some of these kids, but they're kids and they've been rolling for 14 years, and the only reason they're just getting purple belts is because hierarchy says that you can't have it until you're 16, 17, etc. So they're not getting them because they're not legally able to get them, but they have the skill set already.
They have the same skill set, same experience. All the criteria that we used to lay out for a black belt, they already have, and they're 24.
What year is this, 25?
Yeah.
So 17 years ago, right, is 2008. Is that how math works?
Sounds right.
Something like that. I believe that J.J. Bowers started training then.
I believe you're correct.
I started training then.
So y'all been training the same amount of time?
Right. Granted, mine has been fully from an adult perspective, which doesn't make it better or worse perhaps. It's just different that he went through it all young to now. So that's what I'm trying to say is that these guys have been doing it for a long time. You're not going to really see maybe somebody come in and do it in just a couple of years as a middle age or middle 20s guy anymore, probably much. But these guys are going to be already black belt or already black belt level or skill
of what
wise.
That standard.
Yeah, and being younger here, these are, you know, the first young American black belts, I guess, kind of coming up from where they started as kids.
Yeah.
You know, that was that era where people's kids in America really started doing jiu-jitsu as a whole.
Right.
So it's crazy. It's like the Rotolos. They were a little older back then, but they were still kids.
They're on that front of that wave.
They were the ones that kind of maybe triggered a lot of other youth competitors to really chase it down. So it's really interesting. It's different. It's very different. It's fun to watch them roll because you could definitely tell there's a lot more young men courage.
Yeah. I was about to get to that. Yeah.
They have a lot of spirit, which is awesome. They haven't been hurt much, a lot of them, and so they're unafraid of certain exchanges and scenarios, and it's serving them well at this point.
Yeah.
How long that continues is always what's interesting, or is interesting to me, being around long enough, because you see a lot of prodigies and really they're so good, and then they get hurt and they can't rebound from that somehow. So it's an interesting thing. It's fun to watch it though, because there's less of that, like timidity in lots of ways.
They're less worried about what's going to happen, and they're more. I was having an interesting conversation the other night. I was sitting out back at the Fighter House, and they were talking about heel hooks, like Z-locks. They were getting deep off in the game. And I mean, it was people like Aunt Melina and stuff. They were sitting there talking. So like top level type of stuff. When they're talking about it, they're talking about like one of the last things they got caught in, and they were having the conversation in the way that they can't keep the like break at bay, but they know if I just make it through the braking mechanics, he can't finish me on the other side. So I'm gonna high step out and get through the braking mechanics that I know he doesn't quite have, and if I get on the other side, I'll be okay. And they never think about the other side of the if.
The other side of the other side.
Is that like, I would never imagine trying to escape that. You know what I mean?
I do. I do.
Answer that question and let me answer this production question.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing a podcast.
We are live right now. We have the great Michael Plaster here.
Hey, look, everybody. It's Michael Plaster.
There it is. It's good. It's good. I was going to talk to him, but yeah. So I think there's a part of that where people they're busting through things, and that's the young man thing we're talking about in a way, or the inexperienced part of some of that.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't able to catch you and make it work, then it works. Like your escape works, rather. And so you believe that's the way. Man, there's so many positional exchanges or things that we will call submissions that happen like on the way out.
Yeah.
And it's not on until maybe you are escaping.
Yeah.
To a certain point.
And then usually you don't have control.
It's a point of no return at that. And then you've already fully locked, for example, your arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Boom. And you tried to roll it, but they already had your elbow pretty locked in right there. And so when you try to roll
in the
it,
key and they're
boom,
able to re-grip it.
It got that moment right here. That's where a lot of people's elbows get popped, is right there if they hyperextend when you try to roll.
As you're trying to turn. And they go
because that's the way out,
and
right?
It keeps going. Yeah.
Because you chase the thumb line, etc. So
experience that.
Yeah. And so that's it. And I would do that a lot until my elbows got popped a couple of times.
Now you're driving down the highway, and occasionally you have to do one of these and get it to straighten back out.
My elbows, I didn't let my elbows get hyperextended too much. I think I probably ate too many more like Kimura, Americana kind of plays.
The shoulder's a little tight. Doesn't like going that way anymore.
Yeah, I felt like I was pretty good at either defending the arm bar, but also since I knew I was good at defending them for the most part, I tapped, I guess I would say. Like, so I kind of had that thing, I guess, that we're talking about happen at some point, and so I was just cautious. And I probably lost some matches. I may have been, like, I definitely remember a match that I lost because I thought that it was over when my hand slipped. But I had already like started to tap, I guess, in the moment or whatever before I realized that, oh shoot, he was kind of out of position. But he got the hand, you know what I mean? He kind of got my hand pulled apart, and at that point, that was all I was really like hip to.
Was just
and I was like, just kind of, and so I was like, you know what, he's got it tapped. And then I looked back at it, and he even said later, was like, no, I wasn't on it, and it was like, oh. But I didn't get hurt. And I lost the match though, so it depends on where you see those things at. There's times.
Well, and like one of the side conversations of that leg lock conversation was that like in the PGF, you'll see a lot more people start to learn that it doesn't matter that you lost that, like especially if it was a good match and you run it all the way up to that point, you're way better off to just know you're caught and keep playing the game rather than just getting broke off on day 2, day 1, and you can't show any more of your game anymore now. Maybe you would have got out, maybe you wouldn't have, but understanding that like the control of your hip and the control of like if they have these things checked off, don't run it all the way to the end and maybe get out. And I would hope that you would see less catastrophic problems.
Yeah, and I think maybe them being a younger group and maybe trying to direct this thing a certain way, we can get the culture to adopt that idea that it's okay to lose if you're going to lose and not get hurt, you know, to protect something. Like
that, and
you got to give up sometimes just to protect yourself or whatever, and we can nurture that thing, not to tap early for no reason or whatever, but just like realize when they got you, and there's no reason to risk it any further than this, because there'll be more opportunities to play, right?
Yeah.
Maybe part of the scarcity mindset in the grappling community was that there
won't be another match.
Yeah, there's
this
only this
ADCC
thing.
finals.
This is it. There's only one of these,
you
know. And if I don't get this one, I won't get it.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
deal.
may miss my window.
Yeah. So I get it, and it's going to be a cultural shift that needs to happen for the league to develop appropriately, because just like every other league, there's You sit your starters in certain scenarios. You give guys days off. Certain matchups, ask for other matchups off of the bench and different things like that. And people have to be okay saying, you know, man, I got Isaac coming up tomorrow. He's already 2-0 against me or whatever. I don't want to cost the team, so we're going to sub in or whatever. It's something at that point to make the team better, to make, you know, it's not about you, the individual, as much anymore.
It's not the it's not the one-on-one absolute.
Your win and loss matters less overall than it would before, right? But at the same time, I'm talking about the alternates or the bench players coming in and taking wins and putting points on the board. It's nice to have a good backup come off the bench that you know is going to be scoring, that you know is going to be a stopper at the very least, or you got this mean guy that's going to protect your star player or whatever.
Well, and there's also the mentality too of, like, this was a big problem in the trades, of guys that are really good at a job are sometimes really afraid to teach the people under them how good to be at their job because they're afraid of their job security.
True.
You know, and they're afraid of that type of thing. And in sports, that's super freaking true. Like, that's like the QB, the understudy, everybody. But the teams that find the success are the guys that can navigate that and not make it personal. And it's business.
It's a job.
It's a job. We're trying to get a job done. And if we're cohesively doing it, then everybody benefits. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the old posters that you see in HR or whatever, where they have the, like, difference in leaders, and you have the leader that's sitting at his desk, like, screaming from his desk, and the people are pulling the desk, and then they got the other one where the guy's at the front pulling. There's a reason that's a stereotype and a thing that they try to use, is that they're trying to teach you that, like, sometimes leading is a lot better done together versus people ordering
directing.
People forward. So it's interesting watching our community go through that as teams, because the teams have never really mattered like this.
No, and your job wasn't as, you know, like, held up or whatever this is, like the injuries. Like, if you get hurt, just like in sports, the guy comes in, your replacement, he's hot.
Yeah.
You're not the starter anymore.
He might take your job.
That's how it works. So don't get hurt.
Yeah.
You got to play hard enough to do your thing, but not enough to get hurt to lose your job. It's a job.
I never even, like, I just made this neuron connection right here, is that it's a bunch of us that left jobs to be in this world of jiu-jitsu and in this sport and in this thing. And now we're experiencing the same thing as the hobbyists, as when they come to practice on Tuesday, they can't get their leg blown off because they got to change tires tomorrow. Or they got to, you know, like, you can't break my arm. Like, he just has a desk job. It's like, well, have you ever tried to sit there and type with one hand?
My strong hand.
So, I mean, I think that is a little bit of what we're experiencing in this, is that, like, it's forcing it to be a job.
Which is what you need if you want money for it.
You need a job.
Right.
It's this crazy thing.
Or you can do the prize fighting model, like we've talked about a bunch, to where it's either boom or bust. And
you're gambling.
You can try it, and you may never get anything for doing it. Or you can find some consistent work that's in your field that's good, that'll, you know, you might got to take a couple losses here and there, but
you do.
You got a job.
That's real life.
You're consistent. You show up. You do your thing.
Your company man. We've had a couple of those since the beginning of PGF.
It's professional sports, though. Yeah. It's the same thing for everything. You got to go through the system to get to the thing. And then when you get there, there's no guarantees that you're staying. And there could be any reason that you get out. It could be the same things we've talked about. You could do something stupid in the public world or in your regular life outside and get removed from the thing, you know, it's going to change.
Because there are repercussions.
Right, and especially if there's a team that has owners and sponsors and people that you're working for that are
representing.
You are a representation of that team. So when you put on the uniform, when you put on the jersey, when you walk through that door, there's a certain thing you have to do to be a part of this. And maybe the other team over there will let that stuff slide, whatever that is, and maybe they're also successful. But maybe this team is the ones that make you shave, or, you know, just some random wear a suit everywhere you go, or like the NBA tried to do at a time. Like, who knows what's going to be the thing, but each individual needs something different, and that's the beauty of the jiu-jitsu as a whole, and that's going to be the beauty of seeing these different teams develop, because New Hope and Alabama are going to be very different from what is now Dahlinger and Tropic Thunders as they develop. Over time, you're going to see the franchise or the thing, what do you call it?
49ers run different than the Dolphins. The Yankees are different.
Yeah,
than,
there's different expectations. There's different fan bases. There's different things that are required or expected, and they're all successful and very. Let's just say
and sometimes one pay the way that sports works and all that is like sometimes one pays more, one pays less, but you have to deal with less stuff over here and whatnot. All right, I'll take the pay cut to be where I want to be, or I'll deal with the bullshit that I got to go get the paycheck, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's been fascinating to watch it develop. And like I said, entertaining to watch this community that I love so much, like, learn how to adapt back into a kind of normal corporation.
What are we doing?
What happened?
No. We were supposed to be getting away from all this, where turns out you need a little structure. And
we got a few comments over on Instagram.
Uh-oh.
We got a Ola from Cancun. What up, Johnny? They out there. And then somebody asked, if a player is hurt and they are ready to compete the following week, can the coach decide to get them back before the 10 days, or is it up to the player?
I believe the medical staff would need to clear them somehow, but I believe there's a 10-day minimum for the injured list. So you would need, it's at least 1 week off based on when you report to the injured list. So I don't believe it's retroactive. It could be at some point to where they can get you like retroactive to the last time that you played, like other leagues. But for instance, Mike John is out today still. I'm not sure that he was or wasn't able to play, but I think he was wanting to play, but he announced his injury later in the cycle.
I believe that was it.
And he's got to wait one more cycle to get out of it.
Either that or like halfway through the night, that's his games that he's supposed to miss. But also, I think that they watched him in his last few training sessions, and he's getting better and like feeling better, but it was still wobbly.
Yeah, but I believe it's the 10-day rule is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
but then once you've been switched, after those 10 days, then it's up to the coach.
Yeah.
Then they can choose if they want you. Then they could choose if they want to keep the bench player in the game, or if they want to go with their original draft choice. And I think that's very interesting based on what we've seen with some of these players that have came in. Again, the hot hand, maybe the alternate, maybe the bench player that's came in and is doing their thing. And it's unfortunate for the guys who were here first.
Yeah.
But that's sports, baby.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
That's the game, and it is what it is.
It is.
But yeah, what are you looking forward to tonight besides your hair catching on fire?
Yeah, I mean, so far it looks like from the peoples and everything out there that the system is all working. So this has served well as a test.
Haha.
And
Y'all tricked me.
then as far as the matches go, man, most of the time I don't really catch what's happening because I'm switching cameras. I might be putting something back together. Keelan might have disappeared. Like, whatever's going on. So I end up rewatching it. But the one that I'm excited that's coming in is definitely Dom.
Lobo.
Dom.
Mejia.
Dom Mejia.
Okay.
Because I'm excited to see, because we saw him in the Boston qualifier. We saw him come through and just. Then he went, and the reason he wasn't here was because he had the opportunity with Aiga, which, like, go take that shot. And it paid off for him. And so coming in here and seeing somebody come in like that, like, I'm excited to see how it goes. Like, how he plays. Because he's already familiar with the rule set. He's already one of those. Like, because, like, Sergio is exciting because we know that, like, he's a good, like, player in jiu-jitsu, but we've never seen him in the rule set. So did Paul go home and, like, they break it all down and they have, like, this thing?
He was here.
He was here. Yeah, he was here. But, like, he didn't experience it.
No, but he knows the game, I feel like. I'm sure
I feel like that's going to translate?
I mean, as much as a qualifier one time.
Okay.
I think.
The one thing that I've seen most everybody concentrate on has been the penalty position.
It's different.
I've seen some really interesting approaches and thoughts. So I am, like, as little as I want to see a stalling call, I do kind of want to see how some of these ideas that they think they've got of, like, solving that Rubik's Cube play out.
From the bottom player's perspective?
Yes. Top player, everybody's kind of figured out how to take the back. Now they're all trying to figure out how do I prevent that from happening. Some of them are trying to roll away. When you turn into them, they all end up on bottom. But I've heard some pretty interesting ideas on how they're going to try to, like, solve it without them in.
You got to baby crawl.
Okay, that's your idea. Just
baby crawl away and then turn.
Baby crawl away and, like, do a sit out turn.
You either sit out. You can hit a switch if you're inclined off of it, if they're chasing. Sometimes they'll jump and you can, like, hit them with the twerk and they'll fly over the top.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that start from happening from that motion or whatever. But most people are breaking down in a way that, like you said, is either allowed them to be pinned kind of easily, or they're at least getting put on their back. And they were a player that did not want to be put on their back. That's why they got the call. So I think personally, and maybe I'm just big and strong, and that's why I say that.
You just gonna see red?
No, it's funny. I'll giggle and just think and see if you can do what you can do. But I think that's a good thing to try. We haven't seen a lot of success with these guys finishing from the back. We've seen people with lots of ride time accumulated, but I'm not sure how many. Percentage-wise, it's very low, I would imagine, the finishes of the rear strangle, face crush, choke thing combination here at the PGF this season. And we've seen lots of people make it through some really brutal, like, back control kind of exchanges or time where you're like, man, you should have been able to finish that.
Yeah.
But they're not. So make them take your back. Make them prove they can choke you. Everybody's going for the legs. Everybody, if you turn, you stick your feet up at them right away. Like, leave your feet on the ground. Leave your knees on the ground.
Make them kill you.
Make them kill you.
Yeah.
They can't. Or, I mean, maybe they can.
Those are some bold words.
You got to believe that in your heart, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
when you're a competitor, you got to go out there and believe that in your heart. And I believe a lot of these guys trust their leg entanglement game, their leg lock game more than they trust other parts of their games.
The leg lock game does keep your head and neck very far out of the equation. So.
Yeah, but you're also sometimes with another guy who's equally good player in those spots, and now you're exchanging with them. Right, so you're giving your feet away at the same time a lot of times when you're in there battling against another on the level kind of player. When you're used to walking over guys and they're not on your level and stuff, sure, go for what you know. But man, at a higher, again, shootouts at the high levels of professional sports are often saved for last ditch efforts or random spots where you're trying to, you know what I mean? It's not the main thing that you would look for in most scenarios. But I feel like a lot of people in jiu-jitsu, modern especially, look to get to the legs just to get into a shootout because they trust that they're going to be able to pull out the win on that. And you see it go back and forth a lot. So I'm not going to tell you what's right and what's wrong, but I feel like if you baby crawl with good posture and you make them try to kill you, you'll probably get some looks that you wouldn't get just rolling over and sticking your feet up or kind of collapsing to side. Because I've been playing with it at the school. We've been playing with it, not necessarily from exactly in the referee or penalty position, but from the various degrees of the quad.
When they're in that, like,
hands on the floor, if you're in your elbows down, knees tucked, or your toes live, or your feet flat.
Have you tried with this gargoyle thing
that Brandon has done? Yeah, I've stood on a couple people.
Yeah, it looked like your style.
I've used not standing on someone exactly, but if you can dig your toes into the hip crease,
like right there,
you can start breaking in a hook. It's just like a little nuzzle thing to do. You got to find the crevice. You got to find the hole, right? And then sometimes, again, in that penalty positions, there's so many holes because you have to be like 90 with your hips. You can't be sitting back and down, which closes that gap between the hips and the knees. With that space, it's easier for somebody to jump and try to take your back. Lots of people are comfortable trying to take the back off of that. That's what they're looking for. When they're on that side, typically they want the same side hook first. That's like the rule. If you can block that, then you can block at least the traditional back take, which is half of the battle. And then if they stick the other leg in, now you're in the leg game you may want, because now they're forcing their leg on top to try to keep a top position rather than you just kind of concede and let them start attacking your feet.
I like the idea. I think the athletes need to be listening.
Look, I did this, by the way. I had to, not in a bad way, but just like I was talking to Hoffa last week, and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. You competed." I was like, "Yeah, man, not just a pretty face. I mean, I'm that too, but I did make the playoffs. I did. It was fun. It was a good season. It was really fun. I would have done it again.
I'm so proud of Egg too. Do you see
I would do it again.
He's been on broadcast enough. We gotta get it out of TJ's way.
No points.
You want to tell the people anything?
Look at TJ, y'all.
TJ, it's TJ. Welcome to the Dream Show, TJ.
I would say he's my friend.
This is the Dream Show.
We're live.
We're live.
It's the Dream?
It's the Dream.
It's the Dream Show. It's live.
It's a nightmare?
Not today.
No, today's a wonderful day.
Nightmares are dreams.
That is a nightmare a dream? That is a good point.
We have so much to learn.
Tonight.
So much to learn.
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern?
Eastern, the Lord's time.
Whatever time you're on.
Yeah, and there's TJ DeSantis.
Egghead.
Legend of
the Dream.
Martial arts broadcasting. And then Egghead, who nobody cares about.
I got to go turn it off from over there.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
We don't have a producer.
My producer is running off. But we're going to let the real work begin. We love you guys. We're going to try to be back. I will see y'all soon. I love you. Wow.
Bye.
TJ says bye.